How is it going, my Ivorians? I am going to quickly dive into this video because it is kind of time sensitive. Right now, my accounts are anywhere between 5 and 10% drawdown. We did see a pretty impulsive move to the downside, roughly about 250 to 300 pips as of right now in the past 8 hours. And this could potentially go lower. So I want to kind of give you a perspective of what I'm personally going to be doing and how I actually handle drawdown on my accounts. So before I dive into that, let me read this risk disclosure. Foreign exchange trading and or use of trading software carries a high level of risk that may not be suitable for all investors. Leverage creates additional risk and loss exposure. Before you decide to trade or engage with these, carefully consider your investment objectives, experience level, and risk tolerance. You could lose some or all of your initial investment. Do not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Educate yourself on the risks associated with foreign exchange trading. This channel is by me, your host, Jesse Kammer, and for educational and or informational purposes only. And the views and statements made are not a representation of Avoria Prime's opinions. This is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. Subscribers can choose to track this information or choose not to at their own discretion. The purpose of this channel is to demonstrate how using specific strategies impact my trading results. Please consult a licensed financial advisor if you have any questions. My settings and choices to accept or decline trade suggestions are mine only and no recommendation of any kind. All right. So now that we get that over with, let me go ahead and let's go ahead and look at my accounts. I currently have 3 accounts running as of right now. This is the Einstein account here. And what we have seen here is a pretty rapid descent. And this is, we're looking at this on the 1 minute time frame. And as you can see here, I have opened up, level 0. And I have one level 3 trade open. So I have opened up level 0s, level 1s, level 2s, and I have one level 3 at the very bottom here that did open up. Now, what I like to do personally is plot my support and resistance by going up to the top left-hand corner, and you can draw a horizontal line. So I can just place that horizontal line down. I can double click on that and then right click, and then I can edit that horizontal line properties. And what I'm going to do is actually go back to the comment tab. I like to make this aqua, kind of stands out. And I like to make the thickness one more bigger than this. And let's go ahead and go to parameters. So the nearest support is going to be 969. Let me just double check that on my trading view, right? We have 1.9690, perfect. Let me get rid of that. Right, we pretty much have reached that level of support, and I think we're going to see this come back to the upside, but let's see how this kind of plays out over the course of this video here. And let's go ahead, 9690, yep, that's good. Then boom, now I have that line of support. So now I personally know if it breaks this line of support, what happens with currency pairs is they tend to move in levels. So once it breaks a certain level, more than likely it's going to go down to the next level. So seeing as this has been a pretty aggressive move and my account is currently in 10% drawdown, my week's performance is negative 3.5%. So if I was to close all my current open positions right now, I would be losing 3% of my account. Last week, I did just over 3% on this account, so I'd be losing a week's worth of profit. So for me personally, there is some Brexit news that is going on, and I have kind of 2 options here. Either I can let this play out, right? Or I could potentially maybe place in a manual sell after it breaks this level. And it's not mandatory, to place that sell for my account to survive. But if I want to give myself the best chances at surviving another move to the downside, that's something I could do. Or what I could personally do is close all positions right now. I could turn off my software, close all positions right now if I was worried. I'm not personally worried as of right now for what's going to happen. We have seen, this come down to this level, and it has rejected. Now we're seeing a state of consolidation. So as of right now, I'm not worried. If we do break below this level, I'm going to be not necessarily worried, but I'm going to be looking to see if my account's going to be able to survive the next level. So let's actually get that in right now. So the next level is going to be this horizontal line. Go ahead, place that down, double click, right click, horizontal line properties. So my next level of support, go to trading view. I have it already all plotted up here. I discussed this in my previous video also, is 1.9435. So 9435. Oops. 9435. Just way down here. And we can pull out my crosshair. So if it breaks this level, I don't think it would be a straight shot down, but it'd probably stair step its way down. Or if, something of this Brexit related news was really bad, we could see a pretty aggressive move. So this is going to be another 250 pips past that. But what I want to measure is actually, and I'm just pulling out this crosshair. You can put Control F, or up in the top left-hand corner, you can click on this. I want to measure how far away it is from my last level that opened up. So that's the level 3. And from the level 3, it's roughly about 280. So another 280 pips off my level 3. And what I can do is go here and type in my stats, right? So that is, let me just double check my account balance here. All right, so 1451. $14.51 is my account balance. Right, I got 2 pairs. My starting lot size, 0.02. It's not, 0.02. My range multiplier is 1.15. My position size multiplier, 1.35. My broker leverage is 500. So I am currently in a level 3 trade. Now I said that, it could potentially go all the way down to that next level, which was roughly 280 pips, which would be, I think, right over the 520. So if we go, 268 plus at 280 pips that I could see it potentially doing, would be 548. So according to this, if it were to go all the way down to that support, my account would get a margin call on this. So there's a couple things that I could do. I'm going to relook at this. And right now we're kind of, stair stepping our way up, and this is actually looking like a reversed head and shoulders. Here's the head here. This is a shoulder here. This could potentially be another shoulder there. So my only concern on this is if we had some Brexit news come out and that news was going to send it, to the downside, a very impulsive move to the downside. The chances of us seeing this go all the way down to, 1.9435 is very, very rare. And to kind of like pull up some of this data that, I have put together, let's look at this sheet right here. So in the past, I tested this for 190 days for testing. And in those 190 days, GBP NZD on the settings, on the settings on top, these are the settings that I ran. The settings on top here, those are the settings I ran to get these results here, these current levels. So we're looking, it has never opened up a level 7, except during a flash crash, which was a 1200 pip move. And when we add all these numbers up, right, we have 1,385 trades. That means that there's a 4% chance that a level 4, level 5, or level 6 opens up. Anything past level 3 there's only a 4% chance. So as of right now, looking to enter in a level 7 would be pretty rare. And when we look and compare, level 7 is 539 pips. The settings that I am currently running are similar to this. Level 5, 520 pips. So the chances of us, really seeing that are very slim to none, based off of the data that I've gathered. Right? Because these are the settings I tested on. And on these settings, it's never opened up a level 7. A level 7 would have been 539 pips. And I'm made sure that I'm able to survive 520 pips. And at that point in time, if I was, these are a little different from the account I just showed you, I'm going to be in 53% drawdown. Okay? So going back to that account, what I am personally going to be looking at is I'm just going to kind of wait for this to play out. Now, if I want to give myself the best chance of surviving a very impulsive move, what I would be waiting for is a break below this, a strong break below this support on a 4-hour time frame. And I wouldn't change my time frame up here. I would simply go to TradingView. I would go to a 4-hour time frame. Let me just get rid of this, make the screen a little bit bigger. So what I would be looking for, right, this is that first level. What I would be looking for is a strong break on the 4-hour time frame. So a strong candlestick break. And once that candlestick closed, the next 4-hour would be created. And that next 4-hour, that's the 4-hour time frame I would be looking into enter a sell position. And this would just, increase my chances of surviving a very impulsive move if that were to happen, right? We do have some GBP news coming up, high impacting. So we could see some more volatility. But I would want to see that break, and then I would be placing in a manual sell. Okay. Now, how do I determine how big of a position I would be placing? Well, that's going to be based on my risk. And for me personally, what I do is I place a lot size double of what I currently have open for buys. So pull out the calculator here. If I was to place a manual trade to give myself a better chance of surviving this move, that's 0.04 for the first level, plus your 0.06, and then plus this last level here, which there's only one trade open, but it would open up another trade. So that would be 0.1, right? So that's 0.2. So I would be looking to place a sell below, once it broke this, of 0.2. Now, how I do that is I go up to the symbol here, and there's a little tiny arrow, and you can actually, or hit Control T, and it pulls down this. And then I could plug in how much I would want to place, which would be 0.2. Now, if I were to go and sell this, I would just hit the sell button here when I wanted to actually enter in a sell position. But we haven't broken through this level of support. So I'm personally not looking to, change anything on my account. And I'm just going to patiently wait and see how this plays out. Now you can see I'm still in 2 sell positions. So as the market continues to move against me, these hedges keep getting placed and my account actually keeps increasing. And when I go to my settings, I have a fixed weekly goal of 7%. Okay? If I were to reach that goal of 7% gain on my account balance would be $1,442.48. I can go down here and I look at my account balance. My account balance is actually over the 7%. I'm at account balance $1,451.61. So I have technically closed out over 7% gain on my account. And it's Tuesday. We ran Sunday, Monday, now Tuesday, I'm already up 7%. Obviously, I'm not up 7% because I'm in some drawdown, but if I am able to get out of this drawdown, I'll be closed out for the week. Let's go ahead and look at some of my other accounts here. Alexander. So with Alexander, I'm not in those double trades. So I'm not actually in as much drawdown. I'm in, 8.97%. This account did start a little bit later. I did not start it on Sunday. So I'm not, in as much weekly floating, but I have made 3% on this account so far this week. Let me come down here, look at the trades. I'm only in a level 2 trade. So I still have a long ways to go before, I would be getting to that point of a margin call. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one, right? I'm going to pull out my horizontal line. Let's go ahead and plot the 2 supports. Horizontal line. Let's go to Aqua. Nine, 6, 9. That level. The next one is going to be down here. Horizontal line. Pretty sure this one was 9435. Just double check. 9435. Okay. And plot that. This is why I kind of prefer Alexander, because I can actually now go to my back office here, right? Refresh this. I have 2 sell positions available to accept. So if it breaks this level here, then I would just accept those manual sell positions on Alexander and let this thing ride out. What I am personally going to do actually right now is just accept one. I'm just going to accept one of them. And if it breaks that level of support, this level of support here, then I'll be looking to accept the second sell position on Alexander. That sell position should be placed here shortly. Let me just take a minute. And there it goes. Now I'm in a sell position. And then my take profit's actually going to be before that level of support. So I could actually probably, if it keeps trending to the downside, it'll hit my take profit, and then that'll give me the ability to actually enter in 2 more sell positions later on. So this is the beautiful thing about Alexander, is I have a little bit more control over it. I don't necessarily I don't have to place any manual trades. I can just accept the sell positions, and those would be, you know, acting as kind of my manual sell position. But Alexander will be able to take over it if it, you know, ends up going against me. Let's look at my last account here that I have up and running for this week. Notifications, Alexander notifications, right? All right, so I have 2 sell positions that I could be placed. Go to my VPS. All right, so this account, I'm actually symbol drawdown. I'm only in 4% drawdown, and weekly performance, I'm actually up a tiny bit, right? So if I was to close out all my current open positions, then I could actually close out this week for profit. This account is, you know, it's my weekly goal. So I'm just almost about to reach that 7% if, you know, I get out of my current situation. What I would be doing on this account, so all these accounts are varied, you know, it's going to vary a little bit. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come up here, plot those 2 levels so then I know where they are. Make this aqua. Parameters 9, 6, 9. Go ahead and hit OK. Go to my line here. Go to the next level, which is 9435, and hit OK. So now on this account, seeing as it's only in 5% drawdown, I'm only in a level 0 and a level 1. I have a way better chance at surviving, right? If this were to break that level, then you know, I would be looking to accept those both sell positions. But I'm going to do the same thing as I did to the last account. What I'm going to do is accept one of them right now. That'll get placed in a second, probably like a minute or so. And the take profit will probably be right around that same area, right? A 30 pip take profit. If this continues to test that level of support, I'll hit that 30 pip take profit, and it'll also give me the ability to enter in 2 more sell positions once that level of support is broken. When that level of support is broken, I'll come into my back office, do a refresh, and I'll accept both sell positions, and that would act as my manual sell position. That way I'm not having to manage any trades. I don't have to worry about calculating, how big of a lot size I should be placing. All I would do is I would place the manual trade, the sell positions, accepting the manual sell positions with Alexander. This is why, in my opinion, I believe Alexander is the safer route to go. I have more control over the trades. I don't get stuck as often as I would with Einstein in a horrible position, because Einstein is just automatically going to place those positions. Even if, it's at the very top here, Einstein does not recognize that that may be a top, or it has reached a level of resistance, and it'll place, a buy position right at the very top, and then it'll just keep trending to the downside. It'll keep placing those buys. With Alexander, I knew that this was at a top, and I saw that, I think this trade got placed right here. And when I look over to the left, I thought that kind of like acted as a level of, support here, right? We haven't seen it really breach below that. I accept that buy position. The buy position went against me, and now I've opened up, one more level from there. So that is what I'm currently going to be doing with my accounts. This is how I kind of handle the drawdown. The only thing that's really up in the air as of right now is the Brexit news that is going to be coming out shortly. So let's actually go ahead. I'm going to pull this up on investing.com. This is the website that I use personally to check on news. Go to the economic calendar. So we had NZD news that just came out. That probably played a role. That came out 29 minutes ago. So that was a little, I think, was it better than expected? Go ahead and click on it. Previous was one, actual was worse. And it gives you a little description of, what it could potentially mean. So the next news that I'm really looking at, I don't see any GBP. I mean, we have a little bit of GBP news here. Other than that, AUD news all the way around. So let's look at tomorrow. All right, we have some euro news that could be affecting the British pound. We have high impacting British pound news in about 16 hours. So yeah, roughly about 16 hours from now is when the next high impacting news is. We can go here and we can just type in Brexit news. See if there's any updates on Brexit. Right, 6 hours ago there was some news. UK leaders meet so this is pretty much what probably drove it to the downside, is this release 6 hours ago, because this bearish trend has been put in play for about 8 hours now. To see if that was the real driver, let's go ahead and see how the other GBP pairs behaved. So GU, we had a little bit of a push downside, not as impulsive as GBP NZD. How about GJ? It's still been climbing up and up. GA, we have pushed down. And GBP CAD, we did see a bearish 4-hour candle. So that was more than likely what was driving this move to the downside, was this Brexit related news that was released about 6 hours ago. So the good thing is we don't have any other Brexit news coming up in the immediate, but we do have, the news coming up in about 16 hours. So I will be paying attention to that to see how that plays a role and see where it could potentially move this currency pair. But as of right now, we're in a state of consolidation. And this is pretty close. You know, the levels of support are just kind of general areas of where it could go. So this is a pretty good indication that, you know, maybe it's reached that level of support and it's going to continue to the upside. But there's obviously no guarantees and everything. And I always want to have kind of a contingency plan put in place to give myself the best chance at surviving any type of crazy move that would happen in the markets. Now, if I'm looking at this move currently right now, and I am uneasy about seeing 10% drawdown in my account, or if I pull up, you know, this risk calculator for the settings that I've been running this week right here, if I'm uncomfortable with the level 5, right, reaching a level 5 and 85% drawdown, because this could happen. This very well could happen. If I'm uncomfortable with seeing that percent of drawdown on my account, what I would be doing is I would be lowering my starting lot size to be more conservative. If I'm uncomfortable with seeing 5, 10, 20% drawdown, then I could make modifications on my starting lot size to never see that, or hopefully never see that. Like I said, there's no guarantees, right? So this is saying, right, level 6 is my highest level. And say I'd never want to see, you know, more than 20% drawdown in my account. And when we looked at the stats in the past, you know, 190 days of my testing, we haven't seen any bigger like levels open up besides a flash crash more than, you know, 500, and I think it was 39 pips. So I would just want to make sure that if I never want to see more than 20% drawdown, that this number here would be 20%. So I don't think it's even possible to do it on this small of an account, but you have a larger account, it is. 8.01 wouldn't do it. But if I had, you know, a $10,000 account right here, I could run a 0.01, and even during the big impulsive moves that have happened in the past, I would probably, the chances of me seeing more than 10% drawdown are very, very slim. So this is where it comes down to personal risk tolerance. My personal risk tolerance is a bit higher than I think a vast majority of people. But this is a very nifty calculator that can be downloaded and found on this site here. This was created by Bren Blaze. And if you just go ahead and type in bit.ly/risk calculator 101, it'll pull up this website you see in the background, and you can download that calculator. And then you can go ahead and play around with it and see what settings or starting lot size that you would personally feel comfortable in running. I'm just going to go ahead and check these accounts again one last time, right? 9% drawdown. If I were to close all my current open positions, I would be losing 6% of my account. Go to this one, right? That buy position opened up right at the very bottom. I didn't get another buy. I would have loved for that other buy position to kind of get open up. So when it comes up here, I'll just do one cost average, and then I'll just be in half the trades. And we can see with this account's, you know, probably the worst off out of them all. And a little over 10% drawdown, and week's performance, if I was to close all my current open positions, I'd be negative 3%. So I can actually measure this move, right, that happened from my first position it has moved 270 pips against me. These moves do happen on GBP NZD. It's not uncommon that a 270 pip move were to happen. Another thing I can look at is if we go back to here, look at the stock on a smaller time frame. All right, we'll look at, I like the 20-minute time frame. I'm not entirely sure what this line is for. Rather than delete that, that's alert, yes, I want to remove it. So 20-minute time frame, we're looking at the stock indicator. We see it entering in the oversold area. And then let's just, for example, let's test this out, right? It's in this oversold area. When was the last time it was in this oversold area? Well, right here. What happened when it was in that oversold area? Well, it came up and made a 100% retracement. Okay. Let's go to this next time. You know, this area, oversold area here. Well, what happened? Well, it kind of trended to the upside for the next, you know, hour or two. I think that's about an hour. Came up for an hour. All right, well, let's look at this one. The last time, you know, let's go this one first. This is, you know, this one actually went down. So it's not a perfect system, but we got, right? Worked for this one, this one, this one it doesn't, because we got that cross. It was in the oversold area, and we actually saw it come to the downside. Then we can look at, you know, this one here and that oversold area. It actually came back up. It's not quite in the oversold area, but it did come back up. All right, entered in the oversold area on the 20-minute time frame. Oh, this is GBP CAD. What am I doing here? Let's look at GBP NZD. My bad. Let me get rid of that line and this line. Okay, looking at the 20-minute time frame again. In that oversold area, we have that blue line that's on top now is crossed. So that's a good sign that this has a potential to trend back up a bit to probably test the level that it broke, which was right here. And that level is, go horizontal line. We're gonna make this green. We'll make it bold, make it a bit bigger. So I think, you know, we're gonna see that retracement probably more than likely up to here, which when I zoom out was the level of support that it kind of broke, right? Act as a support here, act as support here and here, and then it finally broke that level of support. So let's keep looking at this stock to see how many times that happened, right? Entered in the oversold area, came up, entered in the oversold area, trended up. This entered in the oversold area and actually went down. So right now it's a 50-50. All right, oversold area, came back up, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, hour and 20 minutes before it started to come back down. Here, I entered in that oversold area, we actually went down. And then we came back up later on. Oversold area on the 20-minute time frame on this stock, lines crossed, and we saw the push upside. So it's kind of a 50-50 with GBP NZD. Just briefly looking at it, we can actually look at, you know, even a higher time frame, see what they're saying. What I like to do is look at the 2-hour. Right, 2-hour, we actually haven't reached that oversold area. We have reached that oversold area here, the red line, but not this blue one yet. 4-hour time frame, these are actually crossing to the downside. So longer time frames are saying that this thing is going to continue to the downside, which just goes with what I stated in my last video. Was on the monthly time frame, I had a feeling that we were going to be going lower. By the end of this month, I believe we're going to be down here at some point in time. I hope that it's not just a straight shot down, but it might be. It might be. No guarantees. I'm looking at the daily time frame, right? Pretty oversold. Slowly stair-stepping down. We kind of see a pattern. A couple red candles, then consolidation, 2 red candles. Then we saw a little bit of consolidation, 2 red candles. We saw it come up, kind of retest this 200 MA, which normally when it breaks that MA, it'll come up and retest it and then further push to the downside. So, you know, I think longer term, we're still going to be trending to the downside. In the short term, I believe we're going to be coming up to test this level here, 1.98198. So what I can actually do is copy this. And let's go check out the software. All right. So we are slowly come back up here and plot this trend line. Paste that number. Oops, that's not the right number I wanted. I don't know why. Oh, that's because I have to do this. Send text. So that's where I think we're going to be coming back up to. And that's right where my take profit for my buy position 0.04 is actually at. I'm just going to leave that as blue for now. And then we can go ahead and go to my other ones. Go ahead and connect. All right, still pretty much in the state of consolidation. What was that number again? Nine eight one nine eight 98198. Go ahead and hit OK. So that's where I think it's going to kind of come up to. So not quite up to my cost average trade or cost average out, but I think, you know, if it keeps coming up, then I'll be looking at my indicators, see if it's going to continue going up. And once I would reach this level, what I could personally do is just close all of my trades. I could, you know, be looking at my weekly performance. If this kept trending up, and then reached this blue line, right? And my weekly performance was like plus, you know, 5% for the week, then what I would probably personally do is just turn off auto trading, close all my current open positions, and walk away with 5% profit. Now that's just a hypothetical. I don't know the exact numbers of what that could be, but we'll see. And the last one, which is here. $98198. Go ahead and OK. So this one, it would have to come up a bit higher to hit that take profit. But if this, you know, comes up, hits this blue line here, hits this level, and then I see a rejection of this level, then I know that this is going to be trending lower and lower. And I may want to be exiting out of my positions. I could just manually close these positions. And like I said, if I'm in weekly floating profit, right, my week's performance is up a couple percent. By the time I get to this blue line, there is that high impacting news on JBP in 16 hours. So my goal as of right now is to hopefully get out of the markets before that news event comes up. So right now it's a waiting game. I have to be patient. I have to wait to see where this, is going to go. And I've kind of laid out all of the options of what I potentially am going to do going forward. I'm just going to watch this for another minute to see if this, begins to push a little further to the upside. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, go ahead and reach out to me on Facebook, Jesse Kammer. Pretty easy to find. My profile picture is of the EA Academy coach. And if you do not have Facebook, you can go ahead and email me at this email here, jkammer@avoriaprime.com. If you do have Facebook and you just sent me a friend request, please send me a message saying that you're part of this Telegram channel. That way I can I know that you're in the Telegram channel, and I'll accept your friend request. I do have a lot of friend requests that just sit there. I just don't accept anyone. I want to have a relationship and build that up. So yeah, so that's everything that I really wanted to cover on this call today. You guys, if anyone has questions, go ahead, shoot me your questions. I'll try to get those answered to my best ability. And I'm just sharing with you what I do on my account. And so you can learn, the strategies I'm using, and the more strategies you learn and the more videos you watch that I post, the better the decisions you can make on your own trading account. I hope this was informative for you. And until next time, Avorians, you take care.